Hello Yoga Mamas, I'm Emma from Becoming Mama Yoga, and I'm here today with a session for healing after miscarriage. So unfortunately I've had 2 miscarriages in a row after 3 healthy children, and after each loss I felt really heavy and really, I guess, depressed and kind of meaningless, and it took me a while to come back to a point where I was okay. And so I wanted to create a yoga session. It's a yin style session where we hold the poses for longer and kind of encourage tension release in the fascia of the body, where basically layers of connective tissue over muscles that can hold a lot of tension, particularly after emotional disturbance, but any time. So I really just am aiming for this video to support you whatever stage you're at after a loss, and I'm very sorry that you've gone through it as well, and I hope that you're okay or on the road to being okay, and that this practice helps support you and hold some space for your healing. So if you'd like to start in a comfortable seat of your choice, you could use a bolster or a pillow to boost the hips above the level of the knees. That can just help to create this feeling of space and this ability to lengthen through the spine a little more. And we're after luxury today, we're after self-care. So whatever it is you need, if you prefer to lie down to start, just make yourself really comfortable and close the eyes and just settle into the body and observe a few breaths. If you're feeling a bit of tension, you could inhale the shoulders up towards the ears and then exhale with a sigh to let go and come into the present moment. And you could repeat that a few times if that feels good to you. Sighing the breath out. Settling in to your space, your time, your yoga mat. And as we breathe here, I just encourage you to open to sensation as much as you can and just let things be exactly as they are in this very moment. And as you just breathe really peacefully, I'll just share a poem by Rumi that helped me a bit. It's called The Guest House. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honourably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. Take a few moments to sit with your body, with any emotions, and just be here and now, and accept whatever is for you here, now. And when you're ready, gently open the eyes. And we'll begin our movement today with a seated cat-cow pose. We're going to interlace the fingers and bring them up behind the head and just rest them wherever's comfortable for you. And on an exhale, we'll bring the chin towards the chest, allowing the elbows to come in as you do this, and roll down through the spine until the tailbone tucks under. And if it's comfortable for you to sit here for a moment like this, then do so. If not, you can continue rolling up on the inhale, rolling back down on the exhale. And if you were comfortable pausing at the bottom in this sort of C-shaped spine, just bring your awareness to any areas of the body that might be holding tension, and practice just noticing them without any judgment. They are what they are. They will release when they're ready, and bringing your awareness to them might help them to release if they're no longer serving. On an inhale, we're going to rock the pelvis forward and roll up through the spine, nice and slow, allowing the elbows to come really nice and widely open, the hands supporting the back of the head as you look up towards the sky. Take a few breaths here if you're comfortable, otherwise you can continue the rolling motion with the breath. Just see if you can encourage expansion of the chest and the abdomen as you breathe in. And then just observe the relaxation that comes with the out-breath. Perhaps you'll notice the space between the shoulders, or somewhere else on the spine, or somewhere else entirely. Just notice with no judgment, no need to label it as good or bad. It's just sensation. And then when we're ready, we're just going to roll back down through the spine on an exhale, chin to chest, elbows move in towards each other as you roll down through the spine. Taking a couple of breaths here, perhaps rocking the head side to side a little if you need it. Making sure the hands aren't too heavy on the back of the head. They're just resting there more than pushing. And then inhaling, roll back up through the spine. Elbows come nice and wide as you look up towards the sky. And if you'd like to set an intention for this practice, perhaps now is the time to do it. My intention, if you wanted to follow along, is peace. I'm seeking peace. And coming back to a neutral spine, we're going to move into a seated twist. So if you'd like to allow the legs to move out long, perhaps walk the heels forward a little bit to bring you onto the bony prominences of the bottom, the sits bones as they're often referred to in yoga. Toes towards the sky, and then hug the right knee in towards the body. And really just take a moment to relax into that hug, that sensation of drawing in and finding comfort. And when you're ready, you can release that leg out of its hug and inhale to lift and lengthen through the spine. Take hold of the right leg with the left arm, wherever's comfortable. You might just hold on to the shin, or you might wrap your arm around so that the elbow sits nice and comfortably across the leg. And with the spine still nice and lifted, we're just going to turn from the base of the spine all the way up until we look out over the right shoulder, and the right hand comes to sit on the mat behind us. We're not leaning back into it, it's just there as a guide for the spinal twist. And this is a really nice, nourishing movement to do at any time, but I thought it was good for today's practice because it gives you that real sense of stability in your body and nourishes the nervous system, helping encourage the vagus nerve to just calm the body, relax the breathing. And as I said, this is a yin style practice, so we'll hold the poses for a little longer than normal. I found this really helpful after my losses because I wanted to move my body and I wanted to do some yoga, but I just wasn't up for anything intense or anything heavy. I guess yin can still be intense, but I just needed a floor-based practice where I could just release some tension without moving through a series of poses too quickly. I needed to slow down. Just notice the breath while you sit here. Notice how the inhale pushes the belly into the leg, and how the belly moves away from the leg a little as you exhale. Notice any other sensations in the body, any tension, any holding. Just see if you can release, let go of what's not serving you. And then when you're ready to release, inhale to come back to center. Hug that knee in again for a moment, and then we're going to allow the knee to move out towards the side. If it's not wanting to come all the way to the floor, you could use your bolster or some pillows to wedge underneath there and offer some support for the leg. The bottom of the foot is going to come to the inside of the thigh, just above the knee, if that's comfortable for you. If that's not really accessible for you, you could put it below the knee instead. Or you can have that knee lifted quite high still and supported somehow so that you can access the pose in a way that suits you today. And if you have any lower back pain, you're going to slide your hands along your leg as we move into Janu Sirsasana, head to knee pose. If there's no lower back pain, you can inhale the arms up overhead and encourage a lift, lift, lift through the spine, and then exhale, bringing the hands down towards the foot and the nose down towards the knee. Just in the direction of is fine. Your pose may look different day to day and different to everybody else, and that's all perfectly fine. We're just doing whatever serves our body today. Breathe into all the sensations that are set up. If you're needing a little more, you can flex the toes towards the face to increase the stretch through the back of the leg. You can allow the eyes to close if you like and just focus on the sensations in the body. You might find that as you sit with the pose, you might go a little deeper. It might ease off the fascia, might release enough to allow you to ease further into the pose. We're never forcing, we're just allowing, encouraging. And as you sit with this pose, head to knee, just breathe and know and trust that you are doing some really good, healthy things for your body. And notice any areas of tension or any areas of resistance, holding, and see if you can encourage the breath in that direction. And that might sound a little odd if you haven't been practicing long, but it gets a bit less odd the more you practice it. And so I'd just encourage you to just bear with me here and just imagine the breath flowing towards any areas that are tense, uncomfortable. If you're truly painful, you just back out a little bit and find a place where the pain has released. You can come out of the pose at any time if you need to. But we'll just explore the edge of our comfort zone in each of these poses and see if we can encourage a letting go of tension. And the more you breathe awareness into a space that's holding, the more likely you are to find some release. You can play around with the neck posture in this position too if you'd like to, if you're holding any tension there. Perhaps nodding or shaking the head a little. Breathing into all the sensations, and then when you're ready, inhaling to come up. Lower back pain people are going to slide the hand back in. Otherwise, you can inhale the arms back up overhead and float them down to the side on an exhale. Just take a moment here to just notice how it feels for the body now. And when you're ready, we're going to squeeze the right leg in towards the body again. Doing this before moving it out long just helps make sure that if the knee joint was locked into a funny position, it unlocks and gets back into the right position before we bring that leg out long. And perhaps notice if there's any difference between the two legs now. And then we'll set up on the other side. So we're going to bring the left knee in towards the body. So the foot's on the floor, the knee is high, and we hug the leg in towards the body. And really offer ourselves some support, some care, some love. And then when you're ready, you can release that. Bring the left hand back behind the body somewhere that's comfortable, and the right arm is going to hug around the knee, or hand could be on the shin, whatever's more comfortable for you. Inhale to lift and lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, we twist always from the base of the spine all the way up towards the top, till finally we look out over the left shoulder. And breathe into all the sensations in the body. And if you get any kind of emotional disturbance during any of the poses, I'd just encourage you to breathe through them for a while and just see if they ease of their own accord. Cry it out if you need. Do whatever your body and your mind needs in this moment. So we're just here to support ourselves to get through a really difficult time. Breathing in and out, encouraging expansion of the four sides of the chest and the abdomen, acknowledging sensation without labeling it as good or bad. And then when you're ready, we're just going to inhale to lift and lengthen through the spine again, and then exhale to release back to the front. Hug that knee in towards the body again for a moment, and then the bottom of the foot is going to come to the inside of the right thigh or the right calf. You could support the left knee again with a pillow or a bolster or something if it needs it. And then we'll just walk the right heel away from the body a little bit more. And once again, we're coming into head to knee pose, Janushirshasana. And for those with lower back pain, again, sliding the hands along the leg. Otherwise, inhaling the arms up and overhead, and exhaling, folding forward, hinging at the hip, until you get to a comfortable place. Hands could even be on the floor, they could be on the leg, they could be on the foot, whatever's comfortable for you, without putting too much tension, but just exploring the edges of your body's comfort zone. Pointing the toes towards the head if that's comfortable. You could put a little bend in the knee if you need to. And just breathing here for several minutes, knowing that holding the pose for longer will encourage release of any tight fascia in the leg. And knowing that we're supporting our body as it recovers. An osteopath I saw after the second loss said that it felt like my whole body was grieving, and that was really validating for me, because I kind of wondered if I was maybe a little bit crazy at times. All this mourning for someone I'd never met, who didn't get all that far along. They were first trimester losses. But when he said that, I just felt like he was right. My body was mourning the loss of the potential, the future that I'd already imagined with my baby, with each of my babies. And so I'd encourage each and every one of you to take whatever time you need to heal and do whatever you need to help you. Seek support. Perhaps do a little less, slow down a little. Take the time to feel where those emotions are stored. There's a podcast by Brene Brown with Emily, I've forgotten her last name, and her twin sister about the stress fix, I think it is. Talking about emotions and the fact that they are physically stored in the body, and when we experience something, like say it's anger or resentment or depression, sadness, loss, we tend to tense, and we hold that tension somewhere in the body or multiple places in the body. And so what we can do during our yoga practice, while we've got the time here to really tune into the body, is just go scanning over the body for any areas that might be holding emotion. They talk about emotional loops, or like emotions like a tunnel where you need to move through and out the other side of the tunnel or close the loop. So if you don't do that, then the emotion just continues being stored within the body. And I've been reflecting on it since then and trying to give myself some time here and there to just lay down on the floor, preferably with the legs up the wall or up on like a lounge or something, because that's a really good way to nourish the adrenals and calm the nervous system. You could spend some time reflecting on or scanning over the body and trying to find areas where you could be holding emotion, and just breathing into them, noticing them for what they are, acknowledging them. All the emotions just want to be felt. If you can feel them and acknowledge them and let them be, then once they're not serving you anymore, you'll be able to let them go. Take an extra moment or two here to play with the neck a little and see how it feels, and perhaps nod it up and down or shake it side to side. And then when you're ready, we're going to release, inhaling the arms up overhead or the hands back up the legs, and exhaling, floating the hands down. Hug the left knee back in towards the body. Be grateful for the support you're giving yourself. And then let's cross the legs. And then walk the hands forward into tabletop position. Bringing the knees under the hips. And I'm going to give two options here. First one is going to be child's pose, and if you're still bleeding or otherwise just not feeling completely comfortable with the next pose I'll show, which is puppy, you can come into child's pose. I'll show it supported, actually let's show it unsupported first in case you don't have any props. So two options, knees can be together and you can bring the buttocks back onto the heels and walk the arms forward, forehead to the mat, or fists on top of each other and forehead onto fists. Or you could take the knees wide as the yoga mat, toes together, sink the buttocks back onto the heels again, and then walk the hands forward. Knees open, I find, stretches a little bit more into the space between the shoulder blades. Knees together will help support the abdominal area a little bit more and provide a little bit more comfort, I suppose. So yogi's choice. If you'd like to do a supported version and you have a bolster or a big pillow handy, you can place that in front of the knees, lengthwise in front of the body. And then you can bring the knees either side of it if you want to do it wide-legged, or the knees are just close together immediately behind the bolster. And we just, once again, walk the hands forward and just rest the side of the face on the bolster. And you'd rest on this side for a while, and then when you're ready, you'd just turn over to face the other side so that both sides of the neck get the same amount of stretch. So that's the child's pose option, and anyone is more than welcome to go into that for a while. If you'd like to come into puppy pose instead, it is a bit of an inversion, which is why you're not going to do it if you're still bleeding. It just sends the energy of that blood flowing out, sends it in the wrong direction once you turn yourself upside down. Now, puppy pose, I like to do it with a bolster or a big pillow to help support me in it, but you can also do it without. So let's do without first. From the tabletop position with the knees under the hips and the wrists and elbows under the shoulders, we're just going to walk the arms forward and come down onto the forearms, and then walk the knees back a little bit to wherever's comfortable and gives you that ability to bend your back a little, and then bring the forehead, or some people even lean back further and bring the chin to the mat, just whatever's comfortable for you. You can do this with the elbows lifted off the ground, pressing into the hands if that feels more comfortable for you or gives you more of the sensation that your body is after. And then if you wanted to do it supported, if you have a bolster or some other nice big thick cushion or even a rolled up blanket or quilt or something, you can just place that under you while you're in the tabletop position, and then come down onto the forearms, basically so that your chest is resting over the top of that bolster, and then you just walk the knees back to wherever's comfortable. So coming into this position however you'd like and moving around until you get comfortable. The feet, tops of the feet could be flat on the mat, or you can tuck the toes under and stretch out through the feet if that's more comfortable for you. And just take a moment to get settled, and then just breathe into that position, that pose. If you need to come out of the inversion at any point, just walk the arms back in towards the body and come up onto the wrists and walk the knees back in and go into child's pose. But otherwise, we're just breathing. You can sigh it out if you like. Puppy pose is also called a hatha. It's a heart opening pose and a bit of a back bend and an inversion. So it's got lots of good properties going for it. It's like a mini version of downward facing dog. And we're just going to breathe into all the sensations that are set up in our body. And if you need a little extra support for the lower back, hug the navel in towards the spine. And in fact, that's probably a good thing for everybody to practice doing. And just make sure that the spine is supported so we're not setting up any new lower back pain issues. If you need a rest but you prefer not to go into child's pose, you could just come out for a moment, lift the head up, lower it down onto the belly, even into Sphinx pose for a moment. Take a few breaths, and then you can always return to puppy pose for a few more moments, a few more breaths if you like. Breathe into all of the sensations in your body, acknowledging them exactly as they are in this moment. No need to judge them, to label them as good, bad, or indifferent. They're all just what they are. And when you're ready, walk the elbows in a little bit and then come up onto the hands. Walk the knees back under the body. We're all going to go into one more pose before we close. It's a pec opener, and lots of people need this, but I found it especially useful while I was grieving and probably tucked into myself a lot more than normal and holding myself in and tense and sad and angry as I was. So opening up through the pectoral muscles and opening up through the chest can just be really soothing. So coming down onto the belly, just lowering down nice and gently. The left arm is going to come out at a right angle, so think cactus sort of shape, and place that on the floor beside the mat. The left cheek comes to the mat, and then we're pressing the right hand underneath the right shoulder, press into the mat and just twist your body over. The right leg, the upper leg, can move back behind the body, so bending at the knee, just bring it behind the body to wherever's comfortable for you. You can bend the lower leg too if that helps support you. And just find a position that you can hold for a few breaths and breathe into that pectoral area. You can ease back a little bit if it's too strong, or press into the hand a little if you need a little bit more. Just encouraging the body to soften into the pose and allowing the shoulder to open, the pectoral muscles to relax. Encouraging relaxation through the neck as well. Readjust the head if you need to. And breathe. I've been speaking to a psychologist since my second loss, and I guess one of the things that I was a bit concerned about was that I wasn't bouncing back from the grief. And she sort of said, well, grief actually doesn't really go away for most people. It eases with time, but releasing the expectation that it will leave entirely just kind of sets you free a little bit. Helps you not to judge yourself for not letting it go. Because ultimately, we lost a baby. We lost a future that we probably wanted. And we might have had plans and
We might be disappointed and angry and frustrated and really, really sad, and all those things are okay. All those things are really normal, and it's okay to feel them and live with them and to let them go in your own time. And when you're ready, releasing by bringing the right arm back down onto the mat, bringing the legs back around onto the mat as well, and then setting that up on the other side. So right arm's coming out at a right angle, cactus shaped arm. So right cheek is going to come down onto the mat. The left hand presses the body away and helps us to twist, and the left leg is going to come somewhere behind us, so bend at the knee and then just bring the foot towards the ground wherever's comfortable. Or if that is too much, just play with the position of the leg until you find somewhere that's supportive enough and allows the body to sit with the posture. Breathe in and out. Feeling the expansion of the whole body with the breath. Knowing that the breath is always there for you. And if anything ever gets too much, you can just bring your attention to watching it, allowing it to soothe you, like the ebb and flow of the ocean. Breathing in, breathing out. Noticing sensations around the body. No need to judge. No need to change things. No force, no effort. Just an observation. Just being present in this moment, however that may feel. Trusting that you've been doing some really good things for your body and your mind and your breath. That this is exactly the right place to be right now. And then when you're ready, we're just going to release, straightening out the left leg, bringing the legs back around to the mat, releasing the arms, and we'll turn over onto our backs for Shavasana. The relaxation at the end of our practice. Now, I'd really encourage you all to find some luxury. If not right now, then the next time you come to the mat for a practice or a meditation or anything. So I like to use a bolster under the knees during Shavasana, just adding to the support for the legs. This eye pillow was gifted to me when I was pregnant with my third, and it has become my favorite yoga prop. It just adds this height of luxury feeling to every meditation that I do lying down, and I really love using it in Shavasana to just sort of enhance the feeling of groundedness. It is remarkable what a little bit of weight and a little bit of darkness over your eyes will do for your relaxation. So this particular one is a Stretch Now brand, and I really like it in particular because of the curve that sits over your nose. A lot of other brands go like more of a rectangle shape, and so this is the most comfortable one I've found, and I add a drop or two of lavender to it every now and then and just smooth it around, and it really enhances my ability to relax. So if you don't have one of these babies, then I'd really encourage you to gift one to yourself and enjoy. Otherwise, like if you don't have one right now, it's fine to use nothing. If you don't have any props, you can just lay down and relax into the mat. But you could use an alternative like a wheat pack if you've got one, or even just some sort of dark coloured cloth or something over your eyes might just help you to relax a little bit more into the moment. And so we'll all come onto the back, lowering down gently. Just gently tucking the chin and perhaps walking the heels out a little so that we find length through the spine. Tucking the shoulder blades underneath. And then if you've got your eye pillow, you can just put it in place and bring the arms down beside the body wherever they're comfortable. Palms face up. Alternate option, if you need to feel a little more safe, secure and grounded, is you could put one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart. And just breathe here for a few minutes if you've got the time. Finding calm, finding peace, watching the breath flow in and out of the body, and trusting that you're going to be okay in time. Whatever you're feeling right here, right now, it is going to pass. It is going to ease. It is going to change. Nothing in life is static, and everything is a phase. Whether we want it to or not, life moves on. It changes. Other demands in our life need us to move on. And it's okay to feel raw, angry, sad, resentful. It's okay to feel a bit of relief sometimes. It's okay to let yourself do something just because you want to and for no other reason. It's okay to move on and try for another baby if that's what you want, and it's okay to wait. It's okay for you to find your way in your own time. Breathe into the chest, into the belly, and we're just observing the breath flowing in through the nostrils, expanding the upper chest, in the middle of the chest, and the abdomen, and then flowing back out. Ebb and flow like the ocean, inhaling, expanding, and exhaling like a bit of a wave motion. Feel the support of the earth beneath you. Begin to move the toes a little, the hands a little. Perhaps moving the legs and the arms. If you had something over your eyes, you could just release that gently now. And in your own time, you can walk the feet towards the buttocks, keeping the eyes closed if you like. And then we can just roll towards the right side. The eyes can be closed or just gently open. And just use the hands to press into the mat and walk yourself back up to a seat. I hope this practice supported you and nurtured you and gave you what you need today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me.